disputing my God, and you got a problem.
Spiritual, free at last, free at last.
The walls between races and tribes, natives and immigrants, Christians and Muslims and Jews cannot stand.
I'm sick and tired of hearing about what's morally right and wrong. Who makes up these rules anyways?
Sex, religion, politics. 3 things you shouldn't talk about in public.
If you question my God, then you got a problem with me.
How do I tell my parents I'm gay?
My family is really religious. It will disappoint them.
It would offend people, just leave it alone.
If you question my
It would
God,
offend people.
How do I tell?
It's just that simple.
Look around you. Observe the subtle hints of irony. We came from nothing. Mere single-cell organisms inhabiting this vast blue planet called Earth. Despite all the obstacles we have overcome, many of us seem to be unable and even afraid to discuss our beliefs, morality, and even our sexuality. These 3 things, when questioned, are met with anger, fear, and vulnerability. Race, sex, religion, gender, politics, even love. Taboo topics, they say. I say, talk them all night long with friends, co-workers, loved ones, strangers. Push some buttons, incite anger, intrigue, frustrate, debate, and deny silence. You'll contradict yourself and contradict each other. You might fail to see another side of things, then come around and consider it later, enough so in your next discourse with someone else on the topic, you might take it as your side instead. The labyrinths of taboo topics are seemingly infinite. Over the course of our lifetimes, we may inhabit many positions within its hedges and never feel as if we found ourselves.
Each culture probably has subjects within its sort of world that are not nice to talk about. I think probably the 2 predominant are some of the cultural aspects of it. Religion is probably one of the biggest sources of taboos, and that's probably the most familiar to most people, about certain things you can't talk about or think, or you're not supposed to say, etc., etc.
As human beings, we are usually rewarded when we follow certain cultural guidelines, and we're punished when we don't. So the rewards and punishments can be things like you could be rewarded through praise, recognition, money, power, things like that. Punishments, it might be disapproval from other people, people staring at you, people banishing you, or you could be physically assaulted or put in prison, those kinds of things. And those are known as sanctions. And when that's all put together, it becomes a system of social control. And it's all designed to ensure that we conform to the norms.
Taboos typically provide an answer, you know, that this is the only way to do it, and if there's anything different from that, we're not allowed to talk about it. Primarily, they are things which happen through time. They pass through generation, and they often have a religious sort of origin in some way, shape, or form.
What is this fear that people have that they can't talk about the subjects considered to be taboo? What authority figure in reality or in the spiritual context are we so afraid of? It all comes down to your personal situations. If you're not the talkative type, listen. Listen to others, especially those who challenge you, who confront you with ideas you immediately recoil from. Consider what exactly within you withdraws, and ask yourself what is the truth about why you respond the way you do. Answer that, and it will likely be something surrounding the unfounded and subliminal submission to the silence of a given taboo.
In terms of why we may feel that it's really something we can't discuss, it's human beings are habitual animals, right? So if we have generations that have not done something, there's going to be a tremendous transmission of that belief and behavior to the next generation. Part of it is habit. I mean, it's just something that we've passed on. Now it can be also reinforced and originated through religion. That's probably one of the biggest ones. That people who believe in a religious sort of denomination or sect or whatever have different. Religion basically provides people with an explanation for why we're on Earth, and it tries to give people answers. And oftentimes it gives people reasons to not talk about things or to talk about things in a certain way, and we often get that passed down from the way that we were raised.
I think that the way that things like religious views and any kind of attitudes or ideas or belief systems, the way that they are delivered to people, the way that they're discussed, has a huge impact. So if somebody thinks if I think this way or if I behave this way, I'm going to be punished, I become bad, I think that's actually a huge disservice that's happened through the history of mankind.
How are we as a species supposed to challenge taboos when the society that has raised us has effectively taped our mouths shut? When you're born, your brain is an empty slate. Every bias is learned, including those things you tell yourself about yourself that keep you from doing something different. Changing something you've wanted to change, going somewhere you've wanted to go, or confronting someone you've been silent towards.
Everything